Back everybody to the Opinion Show. This is the second episode. I am your host, and as you see, there's the show title and my name. And as you could tell, or if you can't tell, I am wearing a Ring of Honor shirt. Ring of Homicide it says, but this is about ROH, Ring of Honor, and everything like that. Let's first run down the champions. The world champion who's touring with New Japan coming up, or already is Davey Richards. Great champion so far. He's been defending the title on the independent circuit as well as Ring of Honor. He's been a great champion so far. The TV champion, which people will find out in about 2 weeks, so if you don't want spoilers, don't listen to this part, happens to be Jay Lethal, who, as many people remember, is a former X Division champion in a company down in Florida. And he's also a former ROH Pure Wrestling champion. So, he's held gold in Ring of Honor before. And the tag team champions of the world for Ring of Honor is wrestling's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin. Won them back in April. Have been defending them ever since, and they've been doing a great job at defending them against any opponents that they've had to defend them against. Now I'm going to go a little bit into the different divisions. The World Championship division, almost anybody can challenge for that belt at any given time, so it's really hard to say who the top challengers are. It really is, but a lot of people are going to say it's either Eddie Edwards or Roderick Strong. It could be either one, really, and it could be anyone else in ROH that goes for that championship belt. The TV division, you got Jay Lethal, obviously, at the head of the division. You can have Michael Elgin of the House of Truth, Mike Bennett, El Generico with his rematch, Andy Right Leg Ridge could go for that championship someday. There are so many people on the Ring of Honor roster that could go for the TV championship, just like the World Championship. So Jay Lethal's going to have a lot of competition coming up in that division. The tag division, obviously wrestling's greatest tag team, world's greatest tag team, whatever you want to call them. They are obviously at the head of the tag division. You also have Future Shock, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, who get their shots, I believe sometime within the next couple of months. All Night Express are always at the top. The Briscoes, 6-time tag team champions for Ring of Honor. No one else has done that. The Young Bucks, who are making their return to Ring of Honor. The Bravados, I hate to say this, but they're getting better. I hate to say it, but they are. You could also have Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs in there. Many people may not know this, but Steve Corino was once one of the original commentators for Ring of Honor. Jimmy Jacobs has been in Ring of Honor many times with different gimmicks. His main one was the Age of the Fall, on which he held tag team gold with Tyler Black. He also held tag team gold with BJ Whitmer. And I believe that's all the people he held tag team gold with. So he's a former champion in Ring of Honor, and he could be dangerous in Ring of Honor as well. And the Embassy. You could also add in the House of Truth if they decide to put them into the tag team division. So there are a whole lot of teams that can challenge wrestling's greatest tag team for those tag team titles. Now, I remember someone asking me on Twitter, please review this pay-per-view card for Internet Pay-Per-View, GoFightLive.tv, which that will be about $15 if you decide to order it, and tell us if it looks like a strong pay-per-view card or what. And I'm going to do that. Starting with the match that was just announced within the last week or so. Jay Lethal and Homicide the Notorious 187, versus Tommaso Ciampa and Rhino of the Embassy. This is going to be a good tag team match. Jay Lethal has history with Prince Nana and the Embassy from his first tenure in Ring of Honor. Homicide has been going to war with the Embassy since about March or April, something like that. Tommaso Ciampa is the only man right now that has never been pinned in Ring of Honor. So he's never been pinned. If he's lost a match, he wasn't the one pinned, so you know, that's how that works. And Rhino recently debuted at the last IPPV back in June. Yeah, back in June. So this is going to be a very crazy match, to say the least, because Homicide, he's going to bring something crazy. I just have that feeling of knowing Homicide. El Generico versus Steve Corino, or it could be changed to Jimmy Jacobs by the time this airs, or within the next week before the pay-per-view, it could be changed to Jimmy Jacobs. Now, for those of you that may not know, Steve Corino last year with Kevin Steen caused a lot of problems for El Generico. Lots and lots of problems. It turned into a blood war with finally El Generico beating Kevin Steen, making Kevin Steen leave Ring of Honor for what was supposed to be for good, but if you saw the internet pay-per-view, you know that wasn't true. Kevin Steen returned, and he's been saying on Twitter and other sites that he's gonna be there on the 17th. So it's a very volatile situation. Corino doesn't want to face Generico because Corino's trying to become a better person, and he feels if he faces Generico, he might lose what he's accomplished so far on getting on the right path and everything. So he's trying to get Jimmy Jacobs to take the match for him, which Jimmy Jacobs, is his sponsor in Ring of Honor, to make sure he becomes a better person. This is going to be a crazy match either way, because Kevin Steen, if he's truly there, will add a whole different element, as I'm sure he still doesn't like El Generico, and he could care less about Corino and Jacobs. So it's going to be crazy nonetheless. The Young Bucks versus Future Shock versus the Bravados. Elimination match, triple threat. How this is going to work is these three teams will all be there. Once one team is eliminated, it will be a standard tag team match until that team wins. The Young Bucks and Future Shock want to get rid of the Bravados in this match right away, so they can finish a match that they were having as a dark match before the last internet pay-per-view, but got interrupted by the Bravados. So this is going to be very interesting, as Future Shock already has a tag team title match secured that they're going to cash in a couple of months or next month, something like that. And the Young Bucks are looking to work their way up to tag team ranks, and the Bravados are trying to work their way up also. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Charlie Haas versus Michael Elgin of the House of Truth. He'll probably have Truth Martini with him. This is going to be a very interesting match, because if you beat one of the tag team champions, you could possibly try to say you're worthy of a tag team title match to the ROH officials. So this could be very good for Michael Elgin's career, but it could also be not so good if Charlie Haas wins, and then the House of Truth won't be able to get into the tag team title chase, which I'm sure Truth Martini would love some gold back in his group. Shelton Benjamin versus Mike Bennett, the Prodigy Mike Bennett, as he calls himself, with probably his trainer, Brutal Bob. Again, if Mike Bennett, he could try to say he's worthy of a tag team title shot, even though he doesn't have a tag team partner. Shelton Or he could say he's worthy to get a TV title match since he beat a tag champ, and he figures he could beat Jay Lethal, even though the last Internet pay-per-view he lost to Jay Lethal. But you know, Mike Bennett, he's trying to say he's the best sports entertainer in Ring of Honor, even though wrestling is what Ring of Honor is about. Shelton could be very good for him to prove that maybe he deserves a chance at singles gold. Same with Charlie Haas in the previous match I talked about. So this could be very good for Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, or it could be a very bad night if they lose both their matches. We'll have to see. The Briscoes versus the All Night Express, Ladder War 3 for an ROH World Tag Team shot. I think at Glory by Honor 10? Something like that. Ladder War. Oh man. Ladder War is crazy. If you get this Internet pay-per-view, get it for Ladder War 3. I promise you. It's going to be a crazy match. The first two were extremely crazy. Right now I don't remember exactly who competed in the second one. The first one I know were the Briscoes, at the age of the fall of Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black. Oh, it's insane. If you find highlights of it on YouTube, I highly suggest it. Same with Ladder War 2. Both have been crazy. I think actually the American Wolves might have been in Ladder War 2. If I'm remembering correctly, I think the American Wolves were in Ladder War 2. So check it out. It's crazy. It's crazier than TLC's. Crazier than Money in the Bank. Crazier than anything that company down in Florida does. It's really crazy. You need to check out highlights. And if you get, I believe this is Death Before Dishonor 9. If you get this Ring of Honor pay-per-view, get it for Ladder War 3. Honest to goodness. Get it. And the last match I'll talk about, Remaster Challenge, 2 out of 3 falls. Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong. How this match is going to work, from what I've heard, is first fall, pinfall. Second fall, submission only. Third fall, 15-minute Iron Man match if it goes to that. It's going to be a great match. It will determine who the top contender to Davey Richards Championship is. It's going to be insane. If Eddie Edwards wins, we're going to see another classic from Davey and Eddie. If Roderick wins, we'll see another classic from Davey and Roderick. So it's just a matter of who wins, who loses, that we get to see yet another classic with Davey. Granted, there are no championship matches on this card. It doesn't happen very often in Ring of Honor, but it has happened before. But looking at this card up and down, I say it's a very good card. It could be a very strong card so long as they give the matches the time that each match deserves, especially the last two I talked about. So it's just a matter of people's opinion. Do you want to see Ring of Honor on iPay-per-view, or do you just want to read about it? Personally, I haven't decided yet, mainly because of money situation and everything, but if I have the money, I am getting this Internet pay-per-view. Believe that. That is all I have to say about Ring of Honor at this time. Please stay tuned for future opinion shows. Next show, FCW. And the things that have been happening in FCW. The show after that, different independent companies, which I'll list off some right now, just so everyone knows what to expect for the fourth show. I'll be talking about Shimmer, WSU, both women's wrestling companies, CCW, Chikara, Dragon Gate USA, Evolve, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, AAW, which is a company in Illinois, the Wrestling Revolution Project, and Lucha Libre USA. And if they're coming back to NTV2 or not. Hopefully I'll have all that info by the fourth show. Thank you for watching The Opinion Show, starring myself. And everyone, have a good day, and I'll be seeing everybody real soon.